So, welcome to the World Tour of Meditation. Our purpose is to travel around the whole world and explore what meditation really is and debunk popular myths around meditation in that journey so that more people can access inner peace and joy and calm and love. And today we have Simone with us today. Thank you, Simone, for joining us.
Oh, I'm delighted to be here. We're
Joining us.
destined. You what?
Where are you joining us from?
Palo Alto, from my office in Palo Alto.
Fantastic. And Simone has a lot to share with us about Quan. And we're just about to go into that. But Simone has been a spiritual teacher for decades. And she's the author of at least 2 books, including The Goddess of Fifth Avenue. And I forget the title of the other one right now, Simone.
The Kiss of the Shaman.
Kiss of the Shaman, gosh. Yeah, is there anything else you'd like to say about yourself as an introduction?
I would say that my life began when I had my first mystical experience with Quan in 1990, and I'd like to talk about that. So, because I feel like it gives permission to others to open to their own mystical experiences. I've had a very mystical life. I've had a very blessed life in many ways, and I feel the more I talk about it, and the more I talk about this energy that we call Quan Yin, it's really an energy that takes on whatever form you need to welcome her to you, whatever form it needs to show up for you to learn compassion. I'm just delighted to be here to express some of what I have experienced with her, and also a little bit of her history. And she's a mythological being, but some believe that she actually lived in a male body to begin with, in a male incarnation in India. And yes, as Avalokiteshvara.
Of course.
And was known as the Lord of Love. And this gorgeous, beautiful being. Oh,
Yeah.
Total fox. And then emigrated over the Silk Road into China, probably around 400, 500. And was seen as a male until, interestingly enough, it became politically okay for this male being that was being rendered as statues everywhere as Avalokiteshvara to become Quan Yin, with all of a sudden pearls around her neck and small breasts and this softer countenance. That was, it was okay all of a sudden for that to happen. So she's been portrayed, I call her she because she appeared for me as a female, and I'll talk to you about that when you're ready. But it wasn't popular for a deity to be female in those days. So it took a while for, as it does here even now, for the female to be allowed to hold its power and its space fully. And I think that's why I was really attracted to the energy to begin with, all feminine energy, because I feel we call Quan Yin the great liberator or the protector of women. And I've been working for the last 35 years with mainly women, trying to empower them into their own power. And it's been a vast trip that she has helped me with so much. Her languaging through me, her love is really what I want to talk about.
I had no idea you did that kind of work. That's where my passion lies too.
Well, that's so wonderful. I can tell that. Look at what you're doing here. For me, it's all about helping people stop suffering and helping their consciousness open, which I believe is what's happening right now, even though it looks horrific sometimes, and of course the suffering. It's also very glorious, because you're beginning to see, people really opening and finding compassion that they did not know existed. And of course, Quan Yin is the goddess of compassion. And this day that we're celebrating together is the 20th. In numerology, a 20 is in the study of numbers. The 20 has to do with healing, duplicity, and duality. And right now on the planet, we couldn't have been more split than when this whole, quote, fear virus began. And now everyone is being asked to lie down and be quiet and notice the quiet and stillness and the love inside of them, and put their duality, their fears, because fear is just a break from the source of life. That's all it is. And the fear that comes from breaking from that. And here we are on the 20th, which is a 2 in numerology, that says, I will heal my fear with oneness. I will fear those dualities and come into this oneness. So it's such a great day to be. You know, we went back and forth with the date, and then you came up with this finally, and it's perfect, of course. And where would you like to go from here? I'm open to all of it.
About the pearls that Quan Yin wears.
Well, they're about wisdom. The pearls are always about great wisdom. And she also wears a jade bangle on her wrist. You'll see that often. But it's important to explain what Quan Yin really is and why she appears in so many different ways: male, female, animal, tree. She's taken over a tree for me and become the whole tree. I can feel her in the earth when I'm walking on the earth. She's everything that's alive. She's the energy of aliveness. And, you know, as I have been with her now for 30 years and been a medium for her tremendous love and wisdom, I get that, and I'm going to preface it by saying I'm calling it her, but it really is way beyond sex, religion, country. It's beyond all of that. There isn't that with Quan Yin. Quan Yin is just love. She's only love, only wants to be felt as love. And she will manifest in any form you need to see her. For some people, she'll ride on a bear. In my novel, The Goddess of Fifth Avenue, she comes in on Tiwa, her tiger. And she's celebrated. You know, a third of the planet prays to Quan Yin every day. A third of the planet prays to Quan Yin every day. Well, what and who are they really praying to? And I believe it's your own compassion. It's that wish for love to devour you and for fear to dissolve away. And so we name these things. We name these energies: Jesus, Tara, Mary, Guadalupe, Isis, you name it. Over and over again we do. I'm going to just do a little of that. Roses are blooming in my garden, and it's woo. So, you know, she's a mirror, like all of them are great mirrors to us. And they appear as we need to have them appear. For me, she appeared when I was at a time of my life. I was in my 30s and I owned an advertising agency that was very successful, and I was an author, and I was all these things. And I didn't know myself at all. And yet I'd been through every kind of therapy known to man. And I'd been on a self-quest for a long time, and still I couldn't find inner peace. And I went to Maui, and I went to the North Shore of Maui, to Napili Bay, which is this incredibly warm turquoise water. And I said to myself that day, you're going to go in further today. Just, you know, I know you're scared of real depths out there, but go ahead. And I didn't have a mask on or anything. So I went in and I went down in the ocean floor, and I was there for maybe, I don't know, 5 seconds. And this shimmering thing came toward me. It was purple and gold and turquoise, very like a peacock, only it was a feminine form with this silk looking material flowing out from the sides. And I thought, oh my God, I found a mermaid. I was so excited. I was like, oh, you know, because I'd read about them for years. Well, this thing came closer and closer. And as it came, I went into a trance state. And I could feel the eyes coming, these dark, black, wet, shimmering eyes of love. And I was so stunned because as she came toward me, she leveled her face into mine and started transmitting this incredible tenderness and love that was so deep that every cell in my body went totally quiet. And it was, it went on for probably a minute and a half, 2 minutes, something like that. It felt like eternity. And I had to go up for air. So I went up, got my air, and went back down. It was gone. So I went back to Palo Alto. And I kind of Rolodexed the whole thing. It was so huge. And yet in some other part of me thought, just let things roll in life. Don't try to figure it out too much. And about a year later, I was walking down the street in Palo Alto. And I went by an antique store, and there was a marble head in the window. And it had the same face that I'd seen on the ocean floor.
And that's the marble head in the picture you sent?
Yes. And I'll show your audience. Yeah. And this is what I saw. And she's on this particular statue. I collect Quan Yins, but this one's on my front porch, and it's from a monastery in a monastery in near Seattle, 200 years old. But anyway, I saw this face, and I started crying. I didn't know what to do, and I put my head up against the glass of the window, and the shopkeeper came out, and he said, he probably thought I was having a nervous breakdown. I don't know what he thought. He came out, and he said, I said, what is this? Who is this? And he said, this is Quan Yin, the goddess of compassion. And I said, this is my mother. This is my mother. This is the mother. And I went in and I bought the statue, and I brought it home. Well, I didn't carry it. It weighs 85 pounds. And I set up this little altar, and it was like I was guided. I was guided the whole time because I wasn't building altars at that time of my career. And I heard, put 12 candles around me. So I had some little candles, the easy light ones. And I heard, actually, I'd like to read to you from my book what I heard. It's very short. But imagine never having had an experience like this. And I heard a voice that moved through me that said, I am the one who brushes my lips across your cheek as you sleep. I am the one who envelops you in light during the most perilous of times. I am the one who listens to your prayers whenever you call. Do not be afraid. I will never leave you. And then I heard, come closer, come closer. I was like, okay. And then I heard, I come to bring you courage. I come to teach you how to forgive. Isn't that where we are right now? I am the one who delivers you from the doorway of death to the eternal life. So I put my hands on her cheeks. Something said, she's big, her head's like this. I put my hands on her cheeks, and I started to hear her words coming through me. And so began my life. I gave up my advertising agency. I had all these highfalutin clients, and I thought that meant something, and all of a sudden it meant nothing. And I invited them to come and listen to these words. And they could come for free with the understanding that they tell other people about her. And that was back in 1990. And then, yeah, it's been such an incredible journey. And it's one I needed. It's one I needed in this life, because when I found her, I wasn't feeling very soft or very tender. I've always been a freedom fighter and an activist, but I didn't have that. I wasn't awake to the depths of love that we can have. And here we are, aren't we?
Here we are.
Here we are. How deep will we go? How much will we heal? How much will we reach out?
What did it take from you in that moment, or in those moments? What did it take from you to give up your advertising agency and your clients and everyone who you thought you were, and walk into this compassion, this path of?
Well, it was scary in the beginning, because at that time in my life, I really cared what other people thought. And when people really started coming to me. I got written up in the Chronicle and all these papers as this super psychic, and it was just not at all how I wanted to be seen, and I had no control over it. And I was thinking, oh my God, my father and mother are going to read this stuff, and what's going to happen, and blah blah blah. And then finally, what I realized was, well, Simone, what is it you really want in life? What is it? Is it notoriety? Is it love? Is it peace? Well, it was inner peace. And that is what she showed me, was inner peace. And I had never known it. Never really. I mean, all the meditation, all the wonderful teachers I had, including my heart, Thich Nhat Hanh, he became so alive in me after that. I mean, you're so lit. You're like a candle. I was like a candle for her. And so there was no choice, really. I mean, it was such a delight. I felt so grateful. I feel so grateful for my life. And the energy known as Kuan Yin or Chen Rezig or Kanon or Guanam or Guanxi Ying. Or I wanted to learn about love in this life. When I went back and went to the Akashic Records and looked at my record, and I saw where I'd been in so many lifetimes and what I'd been doing, and what I needed in this lifetime was to be love, to find that aspect in my heart, and to learn how to move from the heart and not from the thoughts. And Kuan Yin is the heart. And again, so is Mary, so is Guadalupe. All of these figures that come to us, that were the angelic realm, the spirit animals that move within our field, they're all just mirroring us. That's all that's going on. I believe it's one energy, and it appears in many forms. A lot of people would debate that, but that's how I feel.
I have two questions for you.
Yes.
That you were describing how you tried and done a lot of different meditation, therapy, inner work, met a bunch of teachers, all of this like before 1990 when experience happened. And yet none of that had brought you to this place of depth, of deep peace, of deep love. I wondered if you could speak to that a little, because I think when so many people today are on these journeys of exploring all of these things, well, are you even aware that, hey, I haven't really reached that place of deep love yet? And also, what is it that brings you there? Like, what is it that, sometimes we think we're doing a lot, but that doesn't really bring us to what is real?
Well, as a hypnotherapist, I'll wear that hat for a minute. One piece of it is there's thought and thinking and doing, and then there's being. And for myself, I did a lot of therapies that were thought-oriented and analytical, and kept investigating the horrors of my childhood and blah, blah, blah over and over, and learning how to move that energy and dismiss it and heal it and all these different things. But it was like here's how my teacher, Helene Rothschild, would say it. She would say there's the spiritual realm, that's the attic. Oh, hello. Bell goes off. And then there's the emotional realm, that's the basement. And everybody wants to go to the top because it looks so good up there and it's so beautiful. But my experience is, if you don't go to the basement and move the energy on a heart level, not on an intellectual level, you can do that too, that's fine. But I think the deeper level is getting to your feelings, healing them, and replacing them with positive feedback, positive energy, and positive experiences. So I think that's really important. I think it really, for me, finding Thich Nhat Hanh at the same time, because for me, he's the direct emanation of Kuan Yin in this life, was so huge, because he and I can only talk for myself, because everybody's got a totally different karmic path, or just path, let's drop the word karmic. history. And he is so all about love and interconnectedness and oneness. And that was what I was looking for. I was looking for a way to stop separating out from being alive with everyone. Because when I was a child, I was really into flowers and becoming one with flowers.
You were trying to. Can you repeat that? I didn't understand what you said. You were trying
Uh,
to separate out.
I was talking about Thich Nhat Hanh,
Ah,
and
what,
you heard that. Yeah, okay. So when I was a little girl, in order to escape the craziness of my family, I would go out in nature. And this was in upstate New York before we moved to Manhattan. And I would put my little spine at age 3 and 4 up against the trees, the big walnut and maple trees in our backyard, or a little bit further out of our backyard. And I would let the tree move through me. I would let all of that healing energy move through my spine and my nervous system. And so I remembered that as I was getting older and I was doing these things that I thought had true meaning, that really, they were okay, they were fine, they're part of the outer world. But I wanted to go deeper inside. That was the path I wanted, and I knew I had to go inside. I had to go to the basement. And it didn't have to be a trip of suffering. It could be a trip of rejoicing, because there's nothing better than that when you stop looking back and come here. And so I would say for most people, it's really important that they learn how to be here now. Ram Dass said it so well years and years ago. We have to let every moment be a meditation, whether you're cutting carrots or you're in the shower and you say for just 1 minute, or a second, I pray that every living being has enough water today. That's a meditation. Meditation really isn't something you do for 20 minutes a day. It's an awareness that you carry within you. And Quan Yin is the awareness of what compassion and love feel like in your heart. So I don't know if I answered your question. There's so many different therapies you can do. You're right. We have so much out there. You have to listen to your heart. You have to pay attention to what really resonates for you and calls you. That's how you'll know which one is the right one. And if you're open to mystical experiences, wow, it's really intense right now. I mean, I am having so many clients call me and saying, I'm being with the angels. Part of my family members are showing up in my bedroom at night, blah, blah, blah. It's all coming in now because we have this huge portal that's opened and such a great opportunity to know ourselves as one. Yeah, as one.
the second question that I have is,
I can't hear you.
can you hear me now?
A little bit. Let me see if I can turn it up a little bit. Go ahead.
The second question that I have, yeah? Okay, the second question that I have is about that change in your life again when you were 30 and letting go of what wasn't so important to you and coming to the clarity around what I really need and want in life is inner peace. Because and so the question's kind of around I see a parallel between what you went through there and what so many people around the world are experiencing right now, realizing that, hey, all of these things that I had before, they aren't so important anymore.
So you're asking me, what does it take to skim off the surface of things?
Well, the first question I asked you was, what does it take? But the second question is more like, how do you get to the clarity of, hey, this is actually what I want?
It's how you feel. It's how do you get there? Wow. Like I said, it's different for everybody, but I would say you have to listen with big ears. You have to be able to, when you're in the world, see the aliveness of everything. Open your empathic channels, open your intuition. Know that you're a part of everything, and don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of the shadow aspect of who you are. I I mean, that's really important. I think people are in such denial of their angers and their fears, and then they get pushed down into these, these caverns, and they go searching for them, which is a good thing. You can go, but I would say yes, search, do the search, but who is it you want to be? Who's your best self? Who's a model for you? What inspires you? That's what I would go to. What inspires you? What inspires you, Daksha?
What inspires me?
Yeah.
A lot of things.
Yeah.
Flowers,
Yes.
orange,
Yes.
um, playing, writing,
Yeah.
talking to people.
And I would say you inspire others and you like the flow of bringing inspiration. If you were sitting across from me in a session, I would say you came back to do that. You've learned a lot of things. You've been on a lot of paths. You could have been an academician, I'm sure. You have all of that very good scientific analytical side, and you have that very beautiful, flowing, intuitive, empathic side. And you've taken the best of both, and you're weaving this tapestry for all of us to learn. And I think that's very healing for you. I mean, you can tell me if I'm wrong, and I could be, but it feels that way to me because your aura is so rich. It's so alive. It's so happening. And I think you really love bringing inspiration because it's very liberating to know that you're helping people awaken, right? It's a whole deal.
Yeah.
For some of us, it's what we came back for. You learn the lessons and you're in life and you brush your teeth and you cut carrots and you do all of that. And then you ask yourself one day, well, what really holds meaning for me and how do I find that path? And you do it by opening your intuition and listening to your heart and quieting down. I'll tell you two inspirations for me. One is Deva Premal. I don't know if you're familiar, Deva Premal, sorry. To me, there's something she's doing right now with her voice that's so powerful. And I listen to her every morning with Nitin and Manoj Singh and that group of musicians. There's something about chanting. And when I chant Quan Yin's chant, which is Om Mani Padme Hum, behold the many splendored jewel and the lotus, or Namo Quan Yin Pusa, I chant those. I go into a very deep state. Everybody's searching for that love in the outer world. And really, it's in your inner world. And that's what I think the real adventure is. And I was lucky because I met this goddess. And she showed me something in 1 minute that no one had ever shown me before. But everyone can meet their inner god, goddess. You can have it any way you want, but you have to be open to it. You have to be, put your fear down and invite it. Invite the angelic realm. Invite your spirit animals to come and bring their medicine. Invite the elements to work in your favor. Invite your spirit guides to come closer. I mean, all this thing that we call the non-ordinary worlds or your imagination, they're just another realm. And the realm is a breath away. And are you willing to go there? That's really the question. The question is, are you willing to put your fear aside and go out in nature, listen deeply in nature? You know that very well. That's why you're drawn to flowers, amongst other things, and color. And it's interesting you picked orange because that's such a sacred, it's such a sacred vibration. There are 760 oranges in the color spectrum. Yeah. I don't know which orange you're choosing, but could be the second chakra orange, or it could be the robes, the color of the robes that Thich Nhat Hanh wears. It's all calling to us. It's there. And we get so caught up in the outer egoic trip, and which is okay too. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's going to leave you longing. Everyone's longing. That's what I feel I know more than anything. And you have to quiet down. You have to quiet down. And I have many bowls in my home on my altar. I have my favorite one with me. It's really a beautiful vibration. Would you like to hear it?
I would love to. However, when you play it, the audience probably won't be able to hear it very well
Okay.
because Zoom cancels out. If you play it once, we'll hear it. If you play it on a rhythm, we won't.
No, I was just going to go.
Wow.
And this is how I invoke Kuan Yin and invoke the Kuan Yin in me. The mirror of that in me is to, that was, I really invited that very loud so it would go through there. I hope it didn't knock people out of their chairs. But I have all different chakra bowls and different, different materials, etc. Because I believe sound and color is all we are. That's all we are. So perfect. I'm going to put it down now. What else can I do for you today, my dear?
I would love it if you tell a little bit more about Kuan Yin and maybe guide us through some kind of meditation.
Well, why don't I take you there instead of telling you things? I can tell you a little bit about her history.
Well, we got
Um,
to a bit, I think.
well, about Miao Shan. Well, as all history goes, it's written by certain people, and it depends who's telling the story. But there's an old tale that says that she began as Miao Shan, and she was a princess. Her father was a king, and he was wanting to marry her off, and to this guy that she was not interested in at all. In fact, all she wanted to do was go around and heal people. And her father could not understand that, but she continued to resist and whatever. So he sent her away to this, it was like a temple. It was a temple, but she was given the hardest chores to do as a punishment. Well, she did all the chores and she let the monks sleep and she just, transcended all of it. So when her father found out about that, he was really angry and he called her home. But on the way home, something happened to his vision in one of his eyes and he got very, very ill. And the doctors told him, if you do not, you're going to lose your eyesight. And also, we're going to have to take off your arm. And he was so upset. Well, Kuan Yin heard about this as she was approaching the home. And so she gave him her eyes and she gave him her arms. And he was so moved. Well, he didn't know it was her until a little bit later on when he found out. And then he said, I'm liberating her totally. She can do whatever she wants for the rest of her life. I'm not going to try and marry her off. I just want her to do what she wants. Well, she was so elevated by that time spiritually that she rose up and she started to go toward the Pure Land, but she looked back. And when she looked back, she saw all the suffering and she decided, I cannot leave this. I cannot leave until I know that every soul is free. So that's why we call her the Great Liberator. And she lives in between the energy. I call it the energy because calling it she makes it too small. It's so vast. That energy is always around us and lives between this realm and the next and is available at all times. And what else can I tell you about her? My goodness. She's here to take you into your heart right now, right now. And I want to say that she comes in on the purple ray. It's a very strong seventh chakra ray. And I'll do a little invocation here. I don't know how much time we have, but I would be glad to. How long would you like it to be?
We've got time for meditation.
Okay. So let's all get quiet and sit back. Let me know if my voice being a hypnotherapist, my voice goes way down. So I'm going to try and stay with this the right way. And take a nice deep breath. And as you do, let it be an effortless breath, a loving breath. And then another. Let your shoulders come down. And let your brain begin to relax. And let every thought drift by like a leaf in the wind. Just don't engage, just let them come and go. We don't care. And you're just drifting now. And for a moment, I want you to look down into your heart and stand before your heart and bow to all your heart has given you and all your heart will continue to give you throughout all of your incarnations, through all of eternity. This beautiful being called your heart. And then looking up, I want you to remember and become aware again that there's always an energy running through you. We could call it God, we could call it the source. There are many names for this energy. I'm calling this energy Quan Yin today, and I'm asking that the energy of compassion be awakened now. And I want you to remember that that stream, those streams of light that breathe through you in every moment are streaming through you now, healing you and loving you and bringing tenderness to you. Take another deep breath. And as you feel those streams of light moving down through the top of your head and bathing you externally and internally, you can feel your brain cells so happy to drink in that light, so peaceful, so joyful. And your brain is just sipping those brain cells. Your brain is just saying, the light is me. Come in, come in, come closer. And the light moves down into your forehead and into the muscles of your face, and you can feel your eyes softening, softening, softening. And down into your cheeks and jaw, all of the energy just dissolving away. All the stress, all the worry, all the sadness, anything you've been holding. Light coming in now, coming down into your neck and shoulders, and all burden blowing away like a dark cape in the wind. And the light moves down into your back and spine, disc by disc, making room for breath to come in, peace to come in. And this beautiful light that's always with you moves down into your organs and down into your bones and blood and muscle and tissue. Every cell is drinking in the light. Every cell is letting go until you know you are that light, breathing deeper and deeper into that loving light. And every thought blows by like a leaf in the wind. You don't care. Now I want you to envision yourself walking with your eyes closed. Look down at your feet and feel yourself walking on this very sacred land, this inner landscape. And every footstep relaxes you more deeply. Every footstep, you're kissing the earth with your feet. So relaxed. Feeling a sense of being asked to go further today, a little further. It's so peaceful out here. It's so peaceful in here. And you're just walking and noticing a little bit further ahead, you're going to see an altar. Beautiful altar. And this is the altar to your spirit. And go ahead and walk right up to that altar. And what would you like to put on the altar today that symbolizes where you want to go as a soul, as a spirit? You could put a prayer, you could put a feather, you could put a candle, you could put nothing and be in the emptiness. Whatever feels right, place that on the altar or don't. And if there's a prayer you want to say to Great Spirit, go ahead and say it now. Say it to yourself now. Now you'll notice over to your right, there's a beautiful tree. It's so magical, calling to you. And I want you to go over to the tree and sit down. Sit on this beautiful earth and put your spine and nervous system against the tree. And feel the aliveness and the wisdom of this tree moving through you. Feel that incredible beauty and heartbeat of the earth. The love pouring through you now. And as you do, you can begin to feel your guides and teachers coming in now, coming in from different realms. You may notice an animal coming toward you with its medicine. And it's okay if you don't see anything or feel anything, it doesn't matter. This is a journey you can take throughout your life. But now in the distance, I want you to sense the purple rays coming down from the sky. They're so beautiful. Somewhere between indigo and violet, resonating and shimmering these rays of light. And as you look up at the very end, you'll see Quan moving towards you with her spirit animal. You'll begin to feel the energy of compassion coming deeper and deeper toward you, and your heart opening to meet it. And as she comes and floats towards you now, she may shape shift, she may take on other forms, or you may see her the way I see her. It doesn't matter. She comes for you in the way you need to find her. And as this energy comes toward you, you can feel the eyes. So tender, so nurturing, so full of grace, beckoning you to open and let the love in, let the peace in. And as you look into her eyes, you can feel your nervous system totally let go. And the wavelengths of love are drifting throughout you now. This feeling of being at one with everything. Absolutely courageous, absolutely free, at one with everything. So peaceful. And you're just relaxing and letting go. And her light moves through you so beautifully, and your eyes are softening, 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 until you feel Kuan Yin's eyes are your eyes. You can actually become her eyes. You can feel the light flowing through your eyes and out into this hungry world. You're just becoming love With every breath you take, you feel that love moving through your eyes fearlessly. And you're so relaxed. You haven't got a care in the world. And as you breathe, again, you may notice family members, ancestors, those who are working with you on the other side all the time have come closer so that you can deepen this experience even more if you wish later on. But just notice who's showing up or what you're hearing or what you're noticing about your heartbeat as your heart goes deeper and deeper into love. What a healing. And if there's something you would like to say to Quan Yin, to this energy that mirrors who you are, what would you like to say today? What's your wish to manifest? And again, feeling the Kuan Yin light pouring through your eyes in such tenderness, such peace, that warm, loving light. And for a minute, maybe you could picture the earth in front of you, just the globe of the earth, moving so beautifully. And send those purple rays of light and love and compassion from your eyes and let them encircle the earth so that all the grids connect, all of the warring parties move into peace. See the fear lifting off the planet and the purple light of oneness coming in deeper and deeper. And you're just noticing sending light into the world, being a channel for Kuan Yin. And before we come back, I'd like you to whisper from your heart, I am love. I am love. I am love. And let that be your mantra. Let that be your heart's mantra. See the earth filled with that purple light, being embraced by Kuan Yin, by the Kuan Yin in you. Nice deep breath. And then slowly feel yourself coming back, keeping your eyes very soft. Keep your eyes very, very soft. How are you? Peaceful. You're soft. Yes, you are. Beautiful. You're beautiful.
Love that. I really loved the I mean, those aren't even the right words, but the none of these feel like the right words.
Well, there are no words, are there really? So beyond, you know, so beyond the mind.
Yeah,
But I'm interested in what you were inspired by or what opened you.
especially the part where seeing with her eyes
Yes.
in
Oh,
visualizing the earth, like especially that part. When we did that part, I felt myself light up.
mm-hmm.
And back to that thing earlier when you asked me what inspires me. When I was there, I was just like, oh, yeah, like
Right.
why do I even worry at times? Like this is what I'm here for. Like there isn't any.
Beautiful. If can you imagine what the world would be like if people said, if everybody after an experience like this would sit around and say, "Oh, now I get who I really am.
Hmm.
Love. I'm here to teach about love."
And imagine if we remember
Yes,
that.
exactly. And imagine if we remember that light is pouring through us to heal us in every moment.
Through our eyes, how cool is that?
What?
Through our eyes, how cool is that?
What? What? For when I first had my first transmission after I came home, my greatest joy was to sit with people and just transmit that light from her through my eyes into other people. Oh my God, what an experience that was. And I just, because you're not there, I wasn't there. I got to leave and let something so much more beautiful and loving just from coming through, but also awakening in me that aspect and allowing it to really go where it needed to go. And I really feel like that's what we need to do now. As even with our face masks and our gloves, and we've always worn a mask, and one way or the other. And it's not the masks don't bother me at all. What I want to say though is your eyes are not covered. And when you're walking down the street to everybody out there, send that love. And if it is a Kuan Yin, I've spent times just going into Jesus's eyes. Oh my God, what an experience that was. I mean, or Kuan Yin, Thich Nhat Hanh's eyes. And what you do is you sit and you ask that their energy move through you and get out of the way. It's such a joy to be with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Simone. And
It was really a lot of fun. I knew it would be.
yeah, that was yummy. Thank you. Thank you for bringing us Quan Yin this morning.
Oh, well, she's with you. She's in you. She's in everybody. Spread the word.
Definitely will. Definitely will. How can people reach out to you? And did you want to do some kind of free gifty thing?
Well, I was going to, I would love to. I have quite a few CDs that I really like, but I have two new ones that just came out. But I have my first CD was Being Kuan Yin, and you can. I would like to give a Being Kuan Yin and a Being a Flower. This is my new one, Being a Flower. You'd like this one, Daksha. I'm going to send you this. It's so wonderful. You go into the consciousness of becoming a flower and you're just blowing in the wind and no burden. Oh my God, it's so great. And I'm going to give all these, offer one. I don't know how many I'm supposed to offer, but whatever. And then this is a healing ceremony called I Return to Myself. And it's a shamanic ceremony of gathering the different parts of ourself that we leave behind during times of trauma and pain, and having a ceremony and bringing them back in shamanically into our wholeness. And I will give also, I don't have the Kiss of the Shaman up here, but I would love to give being my first book, The Goddess of Fifth Avenue, because it's really a memoir. I call it a quasi memoir. And it tells a lot about the journey. You were asking me, how did you get there and what was that? It's very complex, really. And but it's a story of a psychotherapist. Anyway, I won't go into all that. I would offer that book. I would love to.
Fantastic. So what I'll do is I'll ask people to reach out to you via the contact
Sure.
on your website.
Sure.
Then you can decide maybe you want to give one copy of each to the first person, or you can decide.
Sure, I'd be glad to. Do you have my website? Or I'm sure you do.
That's how I got in touch with you.
That's right. Duh. Hello. I'm not in my body at all. I don't know about you. I'm like, what? What? That's how I am half the time anyway. I love you, Daksha. Thank you for this experience. Thank you. And thank you, Anya, for connecting us.
Thank you, Anya, for connecting us. Yes.
Beautiful, Anya.
Namaste.
Namaste. Aloha.